Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame, a Red Dragon, a replay cast. Today it's a 1v1 on Mud Fight between our blue player, Major Kitten, and our red player, Happy. And we're going to speed this up to the 10x mark. I do believe it is a ranked game. And with that, should be a pretty good game. It is a short game. That just means it's not going to take a lot of time. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bad game. Short games are good games too. And all the units are out and about, ready to go. The important part of this map here, of course, this little part here means quite a lot. ATGMs in this side of the town here and or the woods, always a good idea. And it looks like that's going to be the case here. A couple recon going to be plopped into the town. It looks like an ATGM there as well. A couple ASLAV 25s. Not too much going to the right there, but more so to the left, getting that Puma there. Quickly, the Highlanders going to wait all the way in the back, which is somewhat unusual. Usually you want to try and make it all the way to that town. Stop your opponent one way or another with ATGMs, bombers, all that good stuff. A couple Bradleys moving in here. And looks like two K1s and a couple Chaparrals as well. Some SAS going to land and arrive in that town shortly. We do have two Bradleys over here, a couple Flak Panzers, and Hachi Nanashikis moving up. And also 4 K1s instead of just 2 K1s. K1 is easily one of the best medium tanks for Blue 4. Its price is quite fine, 85. 17 frontal armor, 16 AP. So it's AP not the greatest, but 17 frontal armor is pretty nice for absorbing things. And Bradley going to take an ATGM to the face and insta-gibs it. Now the SK-60 flies into the wrong area at the wrong time. 4 Flak Panzers there. Take that out in a second. Another one going to come, and that's not going to be good. These Flak Panzers are going to make short work of that one as well. Only takes out 1, so not quite worth it there. AH-1J flying in to the base here, just going to make a mad dash, and there's just Canonian Jagdpanzers. But it is taken down by the KMs there in the back. And now that the area here has been taken, looks like it's just going to get skipped over. The SAS going to try and make it to the town there. But there's some Highlanders here with Erics, and should be able to gat up some of these Bradleys. Takes out the Chaparral there. And now, all out of ATGMs here. The K1 should be able to make short work of these two men, unless they decide to sort of get back in the town, but they don't, and they will lose their lives because of it. The K1 moving all the way to the edge here, and it's going to make its way towards that CV, the F5 Puff, flying overhead. And is not going to get that radar. It is off. And is he going to turn that on to go after that F5? I don't think it really matters because that ASLAV should be able to take him out sooner or later. And now some AH-1Js of his own on the way out. And another really excellent unit for its cost is the AH-1J. Only 55. Launches quite a bit of rockets. Just an overall pretty good helicopter. No Saklos missiles. That would make it pretty op if it had it. Had those as well. And the SAS going to make short work of the AH-1Js. And are they going to be in range for that Stinger? Not going to be able to make that final shot, but the Puff should be able to finish it off. And it does. So an interesting game. Both sides sort of breaking past each other here on one side or the other. This side collapsing here for Major Kitten a little bit. The Highlanders here are going to have to deal with the SAS. And looks like those SAS aren't really moving into the town. They should be. The Canonian Jagdpanzers are a little messed up as well. And the Puff still flying around. Nothing really for the Puff to engage just yet. And the K1s are really pushing their way into the main base here of Happy. And the GR7 is finished off very quickly by that F-16A Block 15. And looks like the Puff will be taken out as well. The CV has been moved all the way down here. Has been pushed out by that K1. And now some A1Gs here. Dropped off some Jaegers to defend the area. And they're going to get taken out by that K1 one at a time. And good old Canonian Jagdpanzers. I have these in my multinational deck as well. They're just really good to get a good few of them and just send them forward, particularly against troops. Not so much against any kind of armor. They only do 8 AP power, but they do, however, do heat damage, which always does 1 damage to armor regardless of the AP power, or rather the armor value and the AP power, I suppose. The Highlanders tried to make it into the town here. Got a little jacked up by the Volscom Jaegers. And AH-1J looks like it's trying to spot this K1 and the GR7. I'll launch those 4 Paveway 2 missiles at the Flak Panzer. And goodbye, Flak Panzer. Now, the GR7 is sort of I think I have like a love-hate relationship with the GR7. It's really good for single units like that, but if you're trying to hit things in a town, it's absolutely terrible and just really never seems to work very well when you hit things in a town. But little single units like that are really great. It rather does really great against those units, but any kind of troops in the town, it's just meh. Doesn't really do the job. And I think I eventually took it out of my deck, as I always feel that there's other units better than the GR7 for that purpose. I like the Hornet a little bit more for taking out armor, and just regular old bombers for bombing troops. But to each his own. However, the K1 and the Jagdpanzers are in my deck because they're awesome. I also have the AH-1Js. Sometimes I have them in my deck, sometimes I don't. Depending on the circumstance, your GR7 lands on that K1 there. Doesn't take it out completely though. Takes it down to 2 bars, panics it. Not gonna be too effective now. The Jaegers here are gonna take out that K1 pretty easy. And finishes that off. GR7 was gonna assist the Jaegers there, but no longer needs to. GR7 also acts fairly well as an ASF2 to some degree. It's sort of just a bonus, if you will. And of course, against a F-16 ASF, not going to do the job, but it does launch those AIM-9L missiles, which can do some damage to an F-16, particularly if you have a couple of them out, or if you have an ASF and the Harrier GR7 going out at once. The additional damage of the Harrier GR7 is pretty helpful. F-16 tried to get that aircraft there, but already taken out by the other AH-1Js. And now they're going to be all over this Führungs group, and the Canonian Jagdpanzers are here as well. And they should have spotted that Führungs group. Perhaps they didn't. And that CV still all the way back, not being put back into Foxtrot. And that's certainly not ever a good thing. I don't want to get that back into Foxtrot. There's no other threat here now. And the F-16A finishes off his opponent. And do these AH-1Js spot these Führungs group? They're flying right above them. I think they may spot them now. Indeed, they do. So this is going to be big problems here for Happy. Going to lose Echo. And that is not going to be good at all. And can he survive here? The Jaeger's going to try and help out a little bit. But down to 2 men. So close. And here come the Jagdpanzers too. We'll finish off that area there. Takes out the Lieutenant Colonel's main CV. And the CV of Major Kitten also taken out here. So now neither side has a CV in the base. And I see why this replay was uploaded, because it is quite interesting. As I usually don't actually pre-screen the replays. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending. But usually I like to not pre-screen them, as it's just as fun for me to see what kind of randomness will occur in these replays, because generally people upload their replays for a reason. Once in a great while, somebody will upload a replay that just should have not ought to have been uploaded. Most of the time people upload them because something crazy happened and they want the world to see it. And this is sort of interesting here. Neither side has a CV. However, this CV came from the woods there. It was originally in Foxtrot. Going to put that back into Echo. Going to get his units going again. The Commando Plus are in Bravo there, so the units are now pouring in, but the Folscom Jaegers are going to take out this Hachinana Shiki as soon as it crosses the bridge. And looks like they're actually on the other side of the town. But they're going to swap and take that out. So that's going to be a little hard to get across here. He's either going to have to go all the way around or finish those off somehow. And I'm not sure if this AH-1J is going to be able to do the job, as there's 9 men in there. And we'll have to see. 2-1. Oh, that was a very excellent hit, actually. And took out 8 of those recon troops there. And the CV bombed away. It's gone now. The Harrier GR7 coming on in. Takes out one of those Pumas with the recon troops in it. We have a UH-1B coming in here with recon troops. And it's just going to have to put it right back into Bravo. There's still 1 man here. And the Harrier GR7 there takes a couple wicked shots from the KM-163s. And now that UHB in a little bit of trouble. Both of these jets did see that UHB and should know that it's going to be landing here shortly. It's going to land in Charlie, but he's going to have to run it all the way back to Bravo if he wants to bring in any additional units. And now an MD Jupiter CV has been brought in, and Major Kitten accepts defeat as he's seen that too many units were coming on in, and he would have actually had to run his unit, his CV, all the way back into Echo, which wasn't that far, but for troops it actually is. It would have taken a minute or two to actually get all the way back into Echo there. And by then, his opponent would have had way too much out on the field. So a very interesting match with both players losing their main base and then recovering from there. Now, the game wasn't necessarily over, but Major Kitten would have taken way too long there to get back into Echo. Too many units would have been on the field here for Happy, and probably would have eventually lost the game. So I had the GG out, but a very interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.